Up, everybody? Just got my access to Adobe Firefly, and I got to run through it the first time. I tried to do a live stream, but I don't know. I just kind of stopped talking. I wasn't that impressed with it, although there are a couple really awesome things that it has to offer right off the bat. There's some things I didn't like. A lot of the things that they had in their promo video aren't even available yet. It's an exploration. So a lot of the things like the patterns, the text-to-patterns, the imaging, the extend image, the generative fill, and the personalized results, all those things are still in exploration. Also, the text to brush by creating a brush just by entering a text prompt, sketch to image, and the text to template, which is what I highlighted in my previous video. It was something that I was really looking forward to as somebody who does a lot of posters. I thought that would just possibly streamline the process. But so far, it looks like the only thing that they're offering for you to kind of mess around is your standard AI generative text to image, your text effects, and the recolor vectors, which I think is really cool. Just the only downfall on this is it has to be an SVG file, which, I mean, most of the time you can make an SVG file, but it's just a couple layers of extra things you need to do in order to use this recolor thing. And a lot of things that I create are in Procreate, so it's a pixel-based program. So there's some steps that would have to be done to use that recolor vectors. But we'll go ahead and start with the text. And I'm going to use my buddy's band as an example. They're the Honey Hounds. So I'm going to do a simple HH. And I'm just going to say, I'm going to keep it real simple and basic. Dripping honey. Pretty self-explanatory, right? So right now it's generating this dripping honey onto this font. And I mean, that looks pretty cool. And you get to choose 4 different options down here. Just like if you have used AI Midjourney before, it provides 4 different images with your prompt. And another thing that's kind of cool is you can change the font, and it immediately updates the dripping honey effect in your font and your letters on the page. Now, this isn't perfect. There's some things you can do. You can keep it tighter, loose, medium, and all that means is if you wanted some of the honey to fly off the letters a little bit, you can go ahead and choose the loose option here. And it's gonna, if you can see that, it's pulling some of the honey off of the sides of the letters instead of keeping it actually on the font. And if you do tight, it's just going to do the exact opposite of that, of course, and pull all that honey in tighter. Now, you can do background colors, text color, things like that. I'm going to let's throw in a green here and just see what happens with this dripping honey effect. Okay. And a lot of what I've noticed too is whenever this generates, if you choose the background color, or I may just be tripping up over myself. But sometimes it generates and it does not fill in these letters. So you have transparent spots in the letters. So I just chose black and it darkened it up. Maybe we can choose something a little more like the honey, like yellow. See if we can't get that to play it up a little bit. So I got a golden yellow here. You know, it's not bad, but also you don't have too much control over it. Let's just go ahead and start using some of these sample prompts that it has. I'm going to choose flowers and see what it does to it. Because some of the sample images that they had on their page, their scroll page, the home page for this text effect were pretty cool. But we're going to go ahead and view all of these. Let's try plastic wrap. And I'm also going to try a balloon because a big fad that I have been seeing is these puffy letters, these puffy balloon letters. So let's just go straight to balloon. Check it out. And see if we can't make this HH look like a puffy golden balloon. Now it's taken about 4 to 6 seconds to generate some of these, and they're not perfect or as clean as I think I'd like to see. I'm going to go back and change the background color. I'm just going to choose white, and then the text color, I'm going to choose white as well. See how that affects the actual balloon effect here. Okay, so we're just going to choose no color and see what happens and see if this actually comes through. a pink gold balloon. I'm just going to say gold balloon. I'm going to change the text prompt here down the bottom and remove the pink. I think that's what was bringing in some of that pink, because I'm looking for something just straight gold. Now I have it really tight. Let's go ahead and do medium and see what happens. It's a balloon, so obviously balloons don't drip unless they're maybe exploding. Their pieces of them would fly off of the letters. So let's see what happens if you do that. See if it recognizes it's a balloon or if it's just going to pull. Okay, so this is actually very interesting. I asked it to do loose, and instead of acting like the honey, it provided me some options with some little curly cues down here, like little balloon strings. That's actually pretty cool. But then it also does have an option right here, the second one, of the curly cues a little more placed randomly. Let's go back in here and try, let's go to a different thing actually. These text effects, you can kind of see what people have generated here. And these examples are super clean, super nice. Maybe I just need to play around with some background colors a little more. But so far what I've seen with this Adobe Firefly, it only has these 3 effects and options you can kind of explore right now. So this is not going to take any jobs anytime soon like I initially thought it was. I think we're a long way away from that. And I think even when these extra effects start to roll out, they're still going to have kinks. It's not going to be, I think I'm most excited about this text to pattern, the text to template, this brush, text to brush is very cool. And then also being able to turn a sketch to an image, that's pretty wild. So I would be interested to put a Procreate sketch in here that I typically start all my projects with, and then have it generate it and see what happens. Because that would actually be a more genuine form of creating your own imagery from AI if it's pulling exactly from your sketch and generating an image from it. Currently, I've been using AI to come up with concepts. So I love Midjourney. I love the image generation AI in there. It's pretty cool, and it gives me what I want. And I've gotten used to using it and exploring the prompt engineering a little more to get more specific on some things. But I just recently used it to design my latest poster, and usually coming up with the concept, searching down reference imagery, it could take a day or so. But I was able to do it in minutes and come up with an image that I was able to transmute into a poster. So I guess where I was going with that, to take it back to the original idea, is if I were to take my original sketch, plug it into this, I'd be interested to see what happens. The text to image feature, I'm not going to do the recolor artwork, or maybe I will, we'll see. But here's some examples, and I just don't like this compared to AI Midjourney. Sorry, I was checking to see if anybody's on here. I don't think anybody's joined the live stream, but I don't care. I hope this reaches somebody who's worried about AI Firefly taking their job. I think you're going to be okay. So I don't know. How about, and if more people hop on here, you want to comment on what you want to see me put in this prompt, go ahead. But I'm going to do an otter eating tacos. An otter eating tacos at a food truck. Why not? Now, inside of this, you can choose your orientation. So you can choose, it looks like you can choose a portrait, square, and a widescreen, which is actually pretty cool. So let's just say let's make a thumbnail for this video. How about that? I mean, this otter eating tacos is pretty funny. I like that. But at the same time, it's art. We can choose it to, or we can change it to graphic. Let's see how that affects this eating, or affects this otter eating tacos. I mean, not a big change. I mean, art and graphic, I mean, not much of a jump there. But photo, this should, okay, this has changed it up quite a bit. Now you can see, with this guy, it's actually got his realistic fur in here. It looks like he actually has tomatoes in his mouth. Now the photo, this is actually pretty cool to see it change from a graphic to a photo style. And from what I was told, it is pulling from Adobe stock image pile to generate these images as opposed to AI Midjourney. So if you're looking to do something a part of pop culture like Darth Vader or something like that, it may not come up just because of the copyright and stuff that Adobe probably has on their stock image content. But I'm going to go ahead and change this to a different orientation now. Let's say widescreen. Now, this is definitely a fun app. I'm not 100% disappointed with it. I was just looking forward to using some of the higher level features, and so it's just kind of disappointing to see they're not available. But the stuff that is here, it's at least fun to mess around on. Again, we got an otter eating tacos at a food truck. And we could change it to, looks like some different styles. Let's just do movements, minimalism. Let's choose a color tone. Let's choose dramatic lighting, and let's choose a macro photography, and let's generate it and see what happens. It is nice to see all these different options in here to generate images. And I guess it makes me feel like I'm affecting the prompt generation a little more. Because the prompt engineering in Midjourney can be a little bit confusing. It's got like semicolons and numbers that are associated with how wild and simple and direct it will be towards your prompt. And this is more user-friendly, so I can give Adobe Firefly that. Psychedelic, why not? Generate, let's see what happens. But I mean, overall, the text to image is pretty cool. So how could it have a real world application? I don't know. Let's use it to make a thumbnail of this. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to say man using computer. I'm going to say man with mustache because I have a mustache. Man with mustache using computer. Let's just say excited man with mustache using a computer at a desk. And I want to do it like a photo, maybe psychedelic cool tone. Let's do some vibrant color and macro photography. Why not? All right, so we're still on photo. It looks like this guy's face up here is ridiculous. I can't even. That's hilarious. Oh, man. All right, well, I'm going to change it from photo. I'm going to do art and see how drastic it changes it from pulling from stock photos from probably pulling from digital art it has in its database. Oh my gosh, that's great. I'm going to change some of the details. We'll do handlebar mustache. And with handlebar mustache and mullet, I've been growing the mullet out for the USA Mullet Championships in September. Wish me luck. And mullet haircut using computer at a desk. So we're going to go with this again, keeping some of this stuff the same: dramatic lighting, psychedelic, vibrant color, macro photography. I mean, this is just wild stuff. So let's say this, and it looks like you get 4 different versions that you can look through down here. Wow. Okay. Well, that is pretty wild. I like this one. This one just looks the absolute wildest. So we're going to go ahead and download this. I don't know. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, I would like to allow that. All right, guys. So this is going to be the thumbnail for this live stream. I'll put some text over it. But yeah, so there's the text to image. It's pretty interesting. Not as strong as Midjourney still, but very, I don't know. I like how you can change the styles without having to generate a whole entire new prompt or copy and paste the old prompt that you had. I like how it's all right there, and then when you want to choose to download it, you can download it immediately. All right, I kind of want to do another one. How about Garsh? Let's say a jaguar face, fire coming out of his mouth, and abstract shapes. Actually, no. Let's tell more of a story. Let's just say a wise jaguar rowing a boat through a stream or a river of color. Yeah, whatever. Let's do it. So I have it set on art. Okay, this is kind of cool. I'm going to do a photo because I think that these transitions are actually funny from art to a photo. We'll see what comes of it. Not much changed. Let's do neon. Oh, layered paper. Okay, let's check that out. Color tone, we're gonna do muted. And then composition. So this is really cool. The composition part of this is really cool. So I'm gonna do shot from above on this and see what happens. See how it changes the dynamic of this image. Not what I thought it was going to do, but I do like this paper texture. And I'm trying to think of any current jobs that I have right now I could possibly enter in here to see. Okay, let's do this. So this crazy guy came and knocked on my door. I mean, any stranger that comes and knocks on my door and isn't wearing some type of uniform or anything, I don't know what they're there for. But he looked kind of crazy. Anyway, I saw him. He knocked on the door and he didn't leave. And then my girl was a little bit freaked out. She didn't know what was going on. I wasn't there. Long story short, I'm driving down the road and I see him on his bike. So I stop and I'm like, hey man, what'd you need? You knocked on my door the other day. Come to find he just got out of prison. He's trying to make some extra money and he wanted to know if he could wash our cars. Well, I just told him, hey, like, just don't go knocking on strangers' doors. And I kind of gave him a hard time about it, and I felt bad. I mean, yeah. Anyway, I keep seeing him ride up and down the road, and I wondered why I was freaked out a little bit. It was because he didn't have any. He didn't look like a business. He looked like somebody who had just gotten out of prison, to be quite honest. So I think what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and generate him a logo, a car wash logo, because he was wearing a bucket hat, and he's wearing this bucket hat everywhere he goes, and a shirt. So maybe, just maybe, if I have some extra funds, I'll order him a bucket hat and a shirt with this logo on it, so he doesn't freak anybody else out by knocking on their door, so it can look a little more official and not look like he just got out of prison. So let's do a happy car being washed. Let's take out these prompts. I like the layered paper. I'm just going to go ahead and generate that and see what happens. I'm kind of hoping it does like a car style car. A logo style happy car. Soap suds. Let's see if this happens. I wonder if it says logo style, if that will prompt it to make it. I mean, this just looks kind of weird, but not bad at all. Now, something like this, you could take, live trace it. Well, not like this, to be quite honest. Let's go to graphic. Let's see if that changes it up. See if it makes it more flat shapes, things I could possibly vectorize. We're going to go refresh. I don't like any of those. And at the very least, this could produce a composition or an idea that I could then trace over. So this is actually pretty cool. It's not logo worthy at all, but we're going to take out at the Happy Car Wash. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna round this up and probably land the plane here soon. This is getting a little out of there. But regardless, if this doesn't do it, I still might try to design him a little logo, Mr. Soapy or something, and try to give him this bucket hat and shirt next time I see him riding his bike down the road. Hopefully, it'll help him out. It's our job as people to help each other out. Sounds like he was probably in there for a while. Never mind. I'll just keep going. This is great. So what is cool about this as well is if you like an image, if you're scrolling through and you're like, oh my gosh, I love this. Let's just say for me, I'm looking for a logo. So, oh, that's great. So this looks really cool. How did they get it to look so graphical? Oh, lion face, vector look. Okay. So let's just do a car wash logo, vector look, geometric. Now this is something a little more of what I'm looking for. I'm gonna hit refresh again. See if it generates anything different. When you refresh, it just looks like it gets a little more jumbled. But I guess what I was trying to say is when you're looking through this and you see something you like and you want to use that prompt, like this, let's just say toy figures holding hands, walking on the sidewalk in a busy neon atmosphere, love. Okay, so let's just say instead of toy figures, let's just say anything, Ryan. I can't think of it. Smiley faces. No. Otters. I don't care. I'm on an otter kick right now. My favorite animal, whatever. Otters holding hands, walking on a sidewalk in a busy city, neon light, atmosphere, and love. That is actually kind of cool. Otters do this, right? They hold hands. So sweet. Very cool. So this is another thing that I think is actually pretty cool. It's first time using it like that, but you can go in and find any style image that somebody else has already done and say, tell it what you want. So let's just say the retro futuristic boombox, retro futuristic robot. About that. We'll see what this generates. Retro futuristic robot. Okay, I mean this is pretty cool stuff. I actually love this little guy right here. Let's do a retro futuristic phone. Mm-hmm. I mean, some of this stuff is pretty cool looking. But I think it's awesome if you see an image, you can just take that prompt, make it your own, adjust it to what you want it to. And yeah, half the prompt half of the prompt engineering is already done for you. So we're gonna go back here and try to get an SVG file in here and see what happens. So I know I have SVG files from previous jobs. They may not be very complicated. So let's go ahead and choose this and see what happens. Let's say a warm summer day. Now this is cool. So I believe the image that's on top here is a PNG. I don't see it showing up here. So we're going to upload another SVG. And this recoloring artwork thing is awesome, especially if you have a really picky client. Okay. So just even something like this. I know this is all vector. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep clicking through here. Now this is actually really cool. Terracotta Desert. I'm going to say Spider-Man. See if it'll pick up Spider-Man as a pop culture reference and make it red, white, and blue. Nah, didn't do anything. Let's do monotone winter. And my favorite comment from any client is make it pop. Yeah, make it pop. I mean, I know this isn't the most exciting design, but I just quickly put an SVG file in here just to see. And now, oh, so you can choose the harmony of the colors. Faded emerald, ooh, make it sound so sexy. But again, I think this is probably going to be one of the coolest features. I just have to make all of my posters SVGs. But this is great, especially if you have a flyer or something and they just want to see different colors. This could possibly do it. And if you're building your files with this in mind and making everything vector, that would be a really strong option, because a lot of time can be spent trying to choose colors for clients. But I mean, that's Adobe Firefly for the most part. I'm still using it, so there's going to be a lot of things that I'm probably going to discover as I start using it along the way. I hope this live stream at least encourages you to join the beta program. You'll get an email whenever they're ready to let you on, and just join the ride of AI and all the new advances that these companies are putting out there. So just a conclusion on my last video, I don't think this is going to be as big as I thought it was going to be, at least not in the immediate future. It could possibly grow and evolve into something super special, especially if we're talking about all of these in exploration pieces that they are working on. When these start rolling out, I guarantee you're probably going to want to be a part of Firefly. But I also could eat my words again. I guess you just have to stay tuned and let me know. So if you're using Adobe Firefly, go ahead and comment in the comments section. I appreciate it. All that good stuff. You guys rock. Peace out. Have fun creating. Peace.